Hello everyone, a very good morning to all of you. Welcome to Oliveboard. This is Aarzoo. I hope you all are doing well. So in this particular session, we'll have a look over today's important current affairs. Do join the session, share it with your other friends also, and then we'll have a look over the important current affairs and do a PIB news analysis. So as you all know that PIB is a very important source that we have to cover from your examination point of view. So we'll have a look over some 10 questions, some 10 important news articles, and in last we'll have one-liners too. So I think I should simply start with the very first question. Okay, then let us have a look over the very first question. It is asking about a bilateral air exercise. Garud is the seventh edition of a bilateral exercise between India and which other country? So these are the types of questions. This is the language of the paper only. These are the ways you will expect questions, and you can expect questions based on your previous year paper analysis also. So Garud is the seventh edition of the bilateral air exercise between India and, what do you think? France? Option A, France is the absolute correct answer. So it is basically Garud is the seventh edition. This year it was the seventh edition of a bilateral air exercise between India and France. So one side there was Indian Air Force, and the other side there was French Air and Space Air Force that were participating in the Garud seventh edition, where in Jodhpur. This is also very important. Please do remember that where this exercise was held. This is also way question can be asked, right? So Jodhpur is that particular place, and India is hosting it for the fourth time. Correct? This is the seventh edition. India is hosting for the fourth time. So basically it happens between the gap of after 2 years. So it is not an annual exercise, right? And here both the countries basically they so as to enhance their operation, their capability, their operability, they share the best practices between themselves, and this exercise provide one such platform to them. So at the one end there is IAF, and on the other side there is FASF, and this exercise basically leads to more professionalism, professional interaction. Do you share your experiences, matlab both the countries, and yes is also one of the way where you strengthen your bilateral relations with the other countries. If I talk about this exercise, so some other exercise that happened between India and France, this is an extra information, but it is very important. Apart from Garud, Varun is also an exercise, that is a naval exercise. Desert Night 21 is air exercise. These all exercises are between India and France. And Shakti is an exercise between India and France, which is army exercise. Clear? So with this, chalo, let us have a look over the next question. Glyphosate, recently seen in news, is primarily used as a preservative, a pesticide, a herbicide, or none of the above. Yes. If you are going with option C as a herbicide, then you are absolutely correct with this answer. So basically, what was the news? A very simple one. See, recently government restricted and banned the use of this herbicide glyphosate. Why? So it is basically a point that it leads to you can say some of the harmful health conditions that it causes. So actually what glyphosate is, it is a herbicide that you use on like plant leaves so that you kill the weeds, right? So it is mostly basically it has a very strong market near to Assam, where the you can say that are tea producing states, so there it is very much high in use. The government has restricted the use of this herbicide to authorized pest control operators, attracting criticism from the industry bodies. So it is a non-selective herbicide. As I said you that it regulates plant growth and ripen the specific crops. It is banned in 28 countries as the remains basically, yes, it is harmful. So is India only the one country that has banned? No, there are other countries as well. So what it is widely used in, as I have told you, in tea sector, please do remember, right? And it is widely used in plantation agriculture. It controls weeds in the areas near to the irrigation canals, near to the railway tracks. And as I said that it has a very wide market in which states like West Bengal, right, that are tea major producing states. Got it? Chaliye, so let us have a look over the next question then. A very important one, I would say. Terai Elephant Reserve in Uttar Pradesh is dash elephant reserve of India. 31st, 32nd, 33rd or 34th? So what do you think is the right answer of this question? If you are going with 33rd, so then you are correct. Kyunki Terai Elephant Reserve is the 33rd elephant reserve in where? It can be also be asked in Uttar Pradesh. Then comes, okay, if it is 33rd, then which is 32nd one? पता होना चाहिए ना, ऐसे ही तो क्वेश्चन आएगा. क्वेश्चन कहेगा सिर्फ अब 33rd ही न्यूज में, तो हमें तो सिर्फ 33rd ही चाहिए. ऐसे नहीं होगी ना, बात नहीं बनेगी फिर तो. 32nd elephant reserve in India is Agastyamalai in Tamil Nadu. Correct? So this is the one important key takeaway that you have to remember, a fact. And इसके बारे में अब थोड़ा सा पढ़ते हैं. This तेराई elephant reserve. See, यहाँ पर अब उत्तर प्रदेश चलते हैं थोड़ा सा. Let us have a look here. So here it is, just give me a second. Yeah, so here basically in UP there is Pilibhit Tiger Reserve. नीचे थोड़ा सा चलोगे तो दुधवा टाइगर रिजर्व. फिर थोड़ा सा नीचे चलोगे यहाँ पर, जस्ट अ सेकेंड, यस, तो वे हेयर यू कैन सी वाइल्ड लाइफ सेंचुरी, किशनपुर वाइल्ड लाइफ सेंचुरी, राइट. देयर इज ऑल्सो वन अदर सेंचुरी हेयर, दैट इज Katarni Ghat Wildlife Sanctuary. So if you include their areas, then there comes Terai Elephant Reserve, right? So in Lakhimpur Khedi district of Uttar Pradesh, you have this Terai Elephant Reserve. It is the second elephant reserve in UP, not the third one, second, right? Now apart from this, थोड़ा elephant reserves के बारे में अगर मैं आपसे बात करूं, so if I talk about Indian elephant, राइट, ये क्वेश्चन बाद में देखना, पहले थोड़ा सा इंडियन एलिफेंट के बारे में भी जान लो. क्वेश्चन आ सकता है कहाँ पाए जाते हैं इंडियन एलिफेंट, उनकी लोकेशन क्या है. जैसे नॉर्थ ईस्टर्न स्टेट्स में, नॉर्दर्न रीजन जैसे कि यूपी, और वेस्टर्न घाट्स में नियर इन द सेंट्रल एंड द सर्दर्न वेस्टर्न घाट्स. इफ आई टॉक अबाउट इंडियन एलिफेंट, IUCN स्टेटस एंडेंजर्ड, साइट्स में अपेंडिक्स 1 में, एंड वाइल्ड लाइफ प्रोटेक्शन एक्ट शेड्यूल 1 के अंदर है, right? And which state has the highest number of elephants? Karnataka. Then Assam. Then Kerala. And as of 2017 census, कितने elephant reserves हैं? What is the population of elephants? Sorry, not the elephant reserve. It is 27,312. तो ये कुछ बातें हैं जो आपको याद में रखनी है. देखो, मैन एनिमल कन्फ्लिक्ट, मैन एलिफेंट कन्फ्लिक्ट बहुत होता है, इसको भी रोकना है. ठीक है. सो दीज आर सर्टेन वेज. प्रोजेक्ट एलिफेंट रहा है 1992 में, जो हमने इसी के रिगार्डिंग वी हैव लॉन्च, राइट. सो दीज आर द वेज दैट यू कैन लिंक व्हेन you are referring to any question. Moving on to the next one, IMT Trilet, a joint maritime exercise among Indian, Mozambique and which other navy? So IMT Trilet is a maritime exercise between the navies of, one is India, I am for Mozambique. What T stands for? Tanzania, Tajikistan, Turkmenistan or Thailand? Can you make any guess? बट आई पर्सनली फील इफ यू डोंट नो द आंसर देन ऑल्सो मेक अ गेस, क्योंकि यहाँ पर कुछ जाने वाला तो है नहीं। समझ रहे हो बात को कि कुछ चला जाएगा, कुछ भी नहीं होगा। यू विल ईदर बी रॉन्ग और ईदर बी राइट। इफ यू बी रॉन्ग ना, देन इट इज वेरी, आई वुड से इट इज you're the lucky one, क्योंकि you will retain the answer for a longer period of time, right? So don't be shy of giving the answers. Try to answer. If you have a guess with option A, if you are thinking so, then you are correct. Tanzania is the correct answer. So IMT, I stands for India, M stands for Mozambique, and T stands for Tanzania. So it is a trilateral exercise, a joint maritime exercise. The question can be asked, this exercise was commenced at where? Right? पूछा जा सकता है. It can be any ways. So Dar es Salaam in Tanzania, this is the place where it is the first edition. So the first edition of this maritime exercise will be there on 27th of October it held. So from the Indian Navy side, it was represented by the guided missile frigate INS Tarkash, a Chetak helicopter and Marcos. Right? What were the objectives? Capability development, how you can address the common threats and share the best practices between each other, how you will enhance your interoperability and strengthening your maritime cooperation, right? Clear? So basically this exercise reflects India's and the Indian Navy's commitment. Obviously when different countries are coming together, so what they all want, they want to increase their operability, they want to attain maritime security in their region. They want more of cooperation. There will be more of cooperation between different countries, right, in the Indian Ocean region. So growth of all the region, Indian Ocean region specifically, is the agenda of this particular exercise. Next comes your symposium. Goa Maritime Symposium was instituted by Indian Navy in. It is not a morning tea or a coffee, simple water, so that वो जोश रहे ना, वो होता है कि ये पढ़ाते टाइम थोड़ा गला भी सूखता है. चलिए, anyways, on a lighter note, this maritime symposium was instituted by the Indian Navy back in which year? 2016, right? So option B is the correct answer. Virtual learning से आपको एक benefit तो होता है ना, आप लोग अपना morning breakfast लेके बैठ सकते हो. You can have your morning breakfast and you can enjoy your PIB news analysis. Goa Maritime Symposium theme, very important. Maritime security challenges in the Indian Ocean region, converting common maritime priorities into collaborative mitigation framework. काफी बड़ी लग रही है. It is looking a long one, but don't worry, you just have a glimpse of it in your mind. इतना भी चलेगा. Goa Maritime Symposium, basically the idea is security. The idea is growth of all in the region. So basically different this symposium has a participant of different maritime forces from the nearby foreign countries like Bangladesh, Maldives, Mauritius, Myanmar, Malaysia, Thailand, Sri Lanka, Singapore, right? So they all come together, and this symposium was instituted by Indian Navy in 2016, so that you can have mutual understanding between the nations of the Indian Ocean region near to it, so as to have a collaborative thinking, so as to have cooperation between the Indian and the maritime nations. That is why this was conceptualized. This symposium is conducted annually. Do you think so? I don't think so. It is biannually, and it is conducted by Naval War College Goa, and 3 editions of the event have been organized so far. So please do remember, 3 events have been done. This is the 4th one. It is conducted biannually, right, every 2 years in Goa, and India basically instituted or conceptualized this symposium back in 2016. Got it? Then comes your next question. GI tag is valid for a period of how many years? 15, 10, 12, 20. So why I am covering the GI tag now, you will have this news by the end of this session in the one-liner. But the static part of this particular about GI tag, the act associated with it, and some of these things are very important. That is why I am covering here the news. Why we are covering this? Why it was in news GI tag? I'll have it by the end of this session. तो आपको session end तक देखना है, right? GI tag is valid for a period of 10 years. So option B is the correct answer. Clear? So see, when you are giving geographical, GI stands for geographical indication. So if there is any product that that is basically originated from a specific location, a specific region, a specific territory, and have a very special characteristic, just because the special characteristic of that product is because of the region कि जो जहाँ पर उसका production हुआ है, right? So you give a GI tag. GI tag, basically the act here is Geographical Indication of India's Registration and Protection Act 1919. This particular act gives this tag to the product for 10 years. Later on you renew it. बाद में renew करा लो, but initially for 10 years. Once that tag is given, it will boost your export. It will give you protection, legal protection, prevention against the unauthorized use by the others. Any other company cannot sell that particular item from that name, right? And also the basically the customer base will increase, no, क्योंकि the customer will feel comfort about the authenticity of that product. अब कोई product जो है oranges of Nagpur, coffee of Karnataka, right? So these are some of the, you can say, products जो वहाँ के मतलब जो जैसे जिस क्लाइमेट में वो होते हैं, जैसा वो वहाँ का वेदर है, वहाँ की सॉयल है, उसका जो करेक्टरिस्टिक है, इट इज बिकॉज ऑफ दैट पर्टिकुलर रीजन ओनली. दैट इज व्हाई यू आर गिविंग GI टैग टू दैट प्रोडक्ट. क्लियर? ओके, नेक्स्ट कम्स काला नमक. काला नमक इज अ ट्रेडिशनल वेराइटी ऑफ पैडी, वीट, ज्वार, बाजरा. हाँ जी, काला नमक, you might think कि नाम तो काला नमक है, it should be a variety of salt, but that is not the case. काला नमक is a traditional variety of paddy. So option A is the correct answer. Why we are covering it? Because recently Indian Agriculture Research Institute has developed 2 dwarf varieties of Kala Namak rice. There is a link of Kala Namak rice with the Buddha, Gautam Buddha. What? I'll let you know. But before that, please do remember the 2 dwarf varieties of the Kala Namak rice that have recently been named is Pusa Narendra Kala Namak 1638 and Pusa Narendra Kala Namak 1658. So the new recognition is from the it is basically of its association with the Acharya Narendra Dev University of Agriculture and Technology in Ayodhya. Basically for testing these 2 varieties from that particular university, the name is the rice, the 2 dwarf varieties of the Kala Namak rice are getting its name. See this. Why it is termed as Kala Namak then? Namak salt क्यों आया? क्योंकि this is basically produced in the Terai region, right? वहाँ जो है, जो मिट्टी है, जो region है, वहाँ नमक, salinity भी है, ठीक है? तो तेराई रीजन में होता है सबसे पहले तो, एंड द डिफरेंट 11 डिस्ट्रिक्ट्स ऑफ द तेराई रीजन ऑफ द नॉर्थ ईस्टर्न, उत्तर प्रदेश, नेपाल, और यहाँ पर बट दिस वेराइटी एंड काला बेसिकली कम्स फ्रॉम जो ऊपर जो हस्क है, दैट इज ऑफ द ब्लैक कलर, राइट? दिस हस्क हैज अ वेरी स्ट्रॉन्ग फ्रेग्रेंस. This particular variety was having a low yield because of lodging, where basically it is a condition where the top of the plant becomes heavy, stem becomes weak, and plant falls on the ground, right? This is also given a GI tag and it is protected under the geographical indication tag. I have told you, but this is not कि जिसके लिए मैंने वो GI tag पढ़ाया था, एक और भी है, वो भी बताऊंगी. And it is said that Lord Buddha, it is considered a gift from the Lord Buddha to the people of Shravasti when he visited the region after the enlightenment. So after the enlightenment, when Buddha was coming, तो उन्होंने you can say काला नमक rice जो है Buddha gave, और ताकि आप उसको वहाँ पे grow करें as you can say a gift from Lord Buddha. So वहाँ थोड़ा सा connection है, ठीक है. चलिए, moving on to the next question. Exercise Yuddha Abhyas is a joint military exercise between India and which other country? So you're very lucky today. You have gone through, I think, two of the exercises, but that too, the very first question we have covered some of the other exercises also associated with the India and France. But you will be lucky more because a last question also there will be an exercise. These exercises were all in news, by the way. And in the previous year questions, you see direct questions are asked from these type of questions, from these types of articles. Okay, then exercise Yuddha Abhyas is a joint military exercise between India and option C, USA. Ankit is saying. Absolutely right, Ankit. USA is the right answer. Option C. So exercise Yuddha Abhyas is a exercise between India and USA. So basically this exercise will be from 15th of November to 2nd of December. It will be held where? At Oli in Uttarakhand. Very important. Very, very important. अभी exercise गरुड़ के बारे में I covered. If you know, I'll make a quick revision also. Do you know, Ankit, this exercise Garud, where it is going to be held? Where it is, where it was, I think. Where it was held? Any idea of any particular place? Do you have any idea? नहीं भी पता है तो भी कोई बात नहीं, ऑलरेडी हो चुका है. वेरी फर्स्ट क्वेश्चन वाज अबाउट द गरुड़ एक्सरसाइज. यू कैन हैव अ लुक ओवर इट आफ्टर दिस सेशन. For all those, so as to recall, Jodhpur is the place, and Garud is an exercise between India and France. Correct. My question was not that, but ठीक है, India and France के बीच में exercise होती है. This exercise took place in Jodhpur, right? This is also important. Please do remember that. Okay, so in this particular exercise of Yuddha Abhyas, both the soldiers will witness the integrated. It will witness the employment of the battle groups in mountains and the extreme cold climates. Apart from this exercise Yuddha Abhyas, there is also an exercise, please do remember, Vajra Prahar. This is also an exercise between India and USA. Back in August, we conducted this exercise, and this exercise involved special forces of the two countries. This exercise took place, it was conducted in Baklo in Himachal Pradesh. Okay? Chaliye then, moving on to the next question. Next question is also an exercise, as I told, it was in news. This is the 29th edition of Singapore India Maritime Bilateral Exercise SIMBEX at Chennai, Thiruvananthapuram, Bhubaneswar, Visakhapatnam. A, B, C, D. The Indian Navy is hosting the 29th edition of Singapore India Maritime Bilateral Exercise at A, B, C or D. Any guesses? Okay, you're making D as a guess. If you're going with a guess and your guess went right, तो आज दिन बहुत अच्छा जाएगा. Absolutely right. Visakhapatnam is the right answer. So Indian Navy is hosting 29th edition. Please do remember that it is the 29th edition of exercise SIMBEX between India and S stands for Singapore. Right? And where? It is being hosted at Visakhapatnam. If I talk about this exercise SIMBEX, it is a bilateral exercise between India and Singapore navies. This exercise began in 1994, and that time initially it was known as Exercise Lion King. Question can be asked like that. Objective is once again between both the navies you will improve interoperability, you will share your best practices, right? You will work together. That is the objective of this exercise. Moving on to the last question, but ये last के बाद you will have some one-liners that are very important. World Tuberculosis Day is observed on 24th of March, 24th of October, 24th November, 24th December. A, B, C, D. The World Tuberculosis Day is observed on. Any guesses? A, 24th of March. Are you sure? March तो अभी बहुत दूर है. We are in the month. We are entering into the month of November tomorrow. So it might be November, or we are the last day of October. So it might be October also. Are you sure with 24th March? If you are sure, then you are absolutely correct. 24th of March is the correct answer. Great. Very nice, Ankit. So WHO recently released, why we are covering this, because see, there is a report, that is World Tuberculosis Report, which is released by WHO, and according to this report, in 2021, the patients who were diagnosed with the TB, there were around 10.6 million people across this world. क्या ये नंबर बड़ा है? Yes. In 2020 से 4.5% बढ़ा है. 2020 में 1.6 million patients died of this disease, right? And as per this report, number of people newly diagnosed with TB, क्या नए लोग जो newly diagnosed हुए TB से वो बड़े हैं या कम हुए हैं? They have fell from 7.1 million in 2019 to 5.8 million in 2020. Rest things उससे भी ज़्यादा important, that is India and with respect to TB. If I talk about India and TB, we want to eliminate TB by 2025. This is not the global target. Global target is 2030, but we are going with 5 years ahead. With 28% cases, India was among the 8 countries accounting for more than 2/3 of the TB patient count. So, India is among those 8 countries accounting for more than 2/3 of the TB patients, right? And when is World Tuberculosis Day observed? 24th of March. The purpose is to spread the awareness about this disastrous, the consequences of this disastrous disease, TB, and to make our efforts together globally to end this TB epidemic. Coming to your one-liners, when is World Sight Day? In every October, second Thursday is observed as World Sight Day. This year it was on 13th of October. Awareness is to be drawn to have an attention to the issue of blindness and vision impairment. Theme very important, love your eyes. Everybody love their eyes, right? So love your eyes. International Internet Day. It is celebrated on 29th of October across the world, so as to celebrate the use of internet for the first time. Then comes the GI tag. जो मैंने कहा था ना, we'll cover it by the end of the day session. Telangana Hyderabadi Halim bags for the most popular GI award. So, Hyderabadi Halim bags the most popular GI award. From which state this is? GI tag मिला हुआ है तेलंगाना से. GI status was accorded to this Hyderabadi Halim in 2010. Right? बताया ना 10 साल के लिए फिर आप उसको देते हैं, फिर उसके बाद you can renew it also. Right? So this was it for today's session. I hope you enjoyed learning as much as I enjoy teaching you. Will meet you tomorrow again at 9 a.m. sharp. And I expect to share this session with your other friends, ताकि अगर आपके कोई और दोस्त who are preparing for any government exam or the regulatory bodies, so do refer to this session and let them know about it, ताकि वो भी सुबह 9 बजे आकर they can also have a PIB news analysis early in the morning. ठीक है, फिर दिन अच्छे से भी जाएगा क्योंकि you have covered the your current affairs in the morning itself. So with this, I Aarzoo Kakad once again wish everybody a very very best of luck. Do like, share, and don't forget to subscribe the channel also. Thank you. Thank you, Ankit, for joining and giving these answers. Thank you.